Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're just going to evaluate the autumn forecast for today's second video. So we're very late doing this, but of course we always like to evaluate our long-range seasonal forecasts when we produce them at GavsWeatherVids. And so that's what we're going to do for this one. Just go through the data, see what happened during autumn 2002 and close the door well and truly shut on the autumn, and I shall get on with that for you very soon. Just say that the first video was our 7 AM upload, got European Outlook coming up, and 10 to 14 day as well, that will include all of the red features. So keep checking back for more, and we'll keep you informed as we approach the Christmas period and some very interesting weather. Please like, share, subscribe on videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. So just to recap the GavsWeatherVids autumn forecast, we went for a milder than average season. Thought temperatures would be around 1 degree above the A22,000 and 2010 average. We also went for a drier than average autumn. That came through very clear. We thought that both September and October would be largely drier and milder than average. Some sort of flip was expected in November. We was unsure whether it would be a November flip to something colder, whether it would be a November flip to something wetter. But we expected like November would have some sort of flip at some point in the month. Right, so that's the autumn forecast. Let's see how we did then. So we go over to the UK actual and anomaly maps at UK Met, and this is how the temperature anomaly looks for autumn 2021. And it was a milder than average season, maybe a little bit more than we said, like 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees above average for many central northern areas. Further south, it was like around 1 degree above average or so. Generally above average in all areas, so the whole country had a milder than average season, but particularly so, actually, and interestingly, in the northern half of the country. The way that works out on a month-by-month basis is that September was above average by around 1 degree across most parts of the country. A little bit more in some places. October was also above average by around half degree to 1.5 degrees above average, and November was near normal for the south, a little bit milder than average for north. But out of the three to average, autumn was the cooler. November was the cooler of the months for the autumn, and average temperatures across the southern half of the country. In terms of precipitation, this is how the autumn looks overall. So most places come away with a drier than average season. We did get a few sort of specific areas that are a little bit more unsettled, a little bit of regional variation, as you would always get in any season, really. So northern Scotland comes out a bit wetter than average, as does far west of Scotland. The far northwest of England comes out a little bit wetter than average. Far northwest of Wales, around Anglesey, over there, perched on the Irish Sea and the Isle of Man, comes out a bit above average. But these regional variations, you know, specific things going on in regional areas, may be one particularly very wet day that skewers the data a little bit. But overall, you can see most parts of the country, averaging it out, were drier than normal. The way that works out on a month-by-month basis looks like this. So September comes away average to drier than average in many parts of the country. Some limited areas, again, a little bit wetter average across East Anglia, for example, a bit wetter through there. But I think most places, especially the northern half of the country, are rather drier than average in September. In October, we have a wetter month, so that side of the forecast didn't go to plan. We thought both September and October would be largely drier than average. Actually, October was a rather wetter month. And then November, that comes out substantially, very significantly drier than average, particularly so more southern areas. Exceptionally dry November, within the top 20 driest on record. Just a very far northwest of Scotland. Had a bit wetter than average. November was a continuation of dry weather through the autumn. November did get that flip, though, in the final week to 10 days of the month. We did get a flip to much colder weather through November, and so that is the reason. But overall, November's temperature is not particularly warm, and in the south it's actually close to average, and that all happens by the final week to 10 days of the month, you know, pulling down the overall temperature anomaly. as far as sunshine for autumn is concerned, which we did not forecast, but just out of interest, we see that eastern areas are a bit sunnier than average. Many northern and western areas, though, have a duller than average autumn. It was quite a dull autumn, month by month, it looks like that. So September is dullest in the north and west, sunniest in the east south. Many areas coming out with average sunshine amounts in September. October, rather dull month again, especially so for more northern areas, but also in the southeast as well. And November, rather sunnier in November, interestingly. Particularly so for more northern and eastern areas. Although again, you know, you do have like much of Central and Scotland standing out as being quite dull. Much of Northern Ireland is quite dull. So I think overall the western and northern areas are duller this autumn than eastern areas. But again, it's not a particularly sunny autumn by any means. So let's just have a look at that one last time. So yeah, quite a dullish autumn really in many places. Right, so I think the forecast went okay. I'm quite pleased with how our autumn forecast performed. I think we got most of the major pointers right. As I always say, you're never going to get everything absolutely spot on with any long-range forecast. You know, things will happen that are unexpected, and that's just the way the weather system works. So if you're getting the broad trains correct, I think, you know, you're most of the way there. And I think we got most of the broad trains correct on this autumn. It was a pretty dry autumn. There was a lot of high pressure. And for instance, that high pressure that started at the end of August was still going strong, really, in November with one or two deviations here and there, as you always get throughout any season, as I say. But overall, it was a pretty dry autumn. We picked up on that. Quite an anticyclonic autumn. We picked up on that. Temperatures were above average. We picked up on that. And that went against our data, which sort of, you know, our analogs said it was probably going to be quite a cold autumn. But we said, no, actually, this is likely to be quite a mild autumn. So we was right with that. Go milder rather than colder. So yeah, I'm quite pleased. And we got the November flip as well. It happened later in the month, but there was that big, you know, dramatic flip in the final week to 10 days of November that we picked out something a lot colder. So overall, I'm quite pleased, you know, with how the autumn forecast performed. I think we did okay. I think we got most of the trains broadly correct, and you know, I think it's a good forecast. So I'm happy how the autumn forecast went. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think our forecast was okay? How was your forecast? What was you expecting for this autumn? And you know, did it live up to what you thought was going to happen? You know, let me know in the comments what you think. And that closes the door well and truly and firmly shut on autumn 2021. We're now well into winter season, of course. So we will be evaluating our winter forecast. Very bold forecast that we produce for a cold average winter. We will be evaluating that at the beginning of March. We'll see how that went, and spring updates and will begin in January, and the spring forecast will then be released at the end of February, of course. So yeah, that's it, though. That's it for autumn. And I think the forecast and GavsWeatherVids went okay. I'm quite happy with how it went this time. Right, we'll be back shortly with the European Outlook, and we'll have a 10 to 14 day or so. Keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.